Okay. Dr. William Shuford is going to be doing like something for us here in a minute, so this is going to be her show, but I'm going to talk to you just for a couple minutes just to kind of explain what we're doing and what's going on in here. So this is a production studio. We talk about it a lot, but nobody ever really gets to see it. So we're going to do a mock interview today and just kind of show you a little bit of behind the scenes, kind of live feed of what's going on and how that takes place. But a couple of things we wanted to like let everyone know is this space is very versatile. As you see, we've got chairs in here today. We have this podium in here, and we wanted to set this part of it up just kind of to show you that if you wanted to like bring a class in or part of a class and do, have a video of you giving instruction to a class and do it in a professional studio space, we could do that setup, and have it set up where you could come in and stand at the podium and lecture and do kind of the entire thing with the class. So that's one option that we've never done before, but we thought we'd set it up like that to kind of give you the feel of what that would be like because you wanted to do that. What we often use this over here for, as you'll see in a minute, is for interviews. Everybody's seen the podcasts that Dr. William Shuford does that come out about once a month every year, and this is where it happens. This is where we do a different set pretty much every year. We set up a different backdrop. We move things around. We've been over there, we've been over here, we've been kind of all over. But the point is, this set is pretty much always here. It's on wheels, so I can move it if we do something different. But if you wanted to come in and do an interview one-on-one, we've got a good space here for you to be able to interview someone and do a virtual video podcast with them. So this is just all different parts of the setup. We've got the lighting, and we can maneuver it and change it. Really, the only thing is, like, to do projects like this obviously takes time. It took me a while just to even today, because I had done an audio recording with someone, for something that's coming up. So I had to change everything back and reset, so that's why we have like a form for you to fill out when you want a project request form, so that you can go in and say, hey, I'd like to do this, and then it usually takes at least a couple weeks ahead of time before we can get everything planned out, find a date, and get you working in. But I would love to do that. We want to do a lot more of that. Since I have you guys, I'll just add one more thing, and then we'll get started with the actual mock presentation. But if you know, in the past, I did lots of events. So I was all over the place doing events. And a lot of the reason why I was taking so many pictures, so many events, is because StratCom was in kind of a space where they needed help. And so now they're fully staffed, and I'm not doing that anymore. So now I'm more back to focus on helping you guys make your classes more engaging and working with you to figure out what we can do. And my time doing what I love doing, and that's working with you guys to help engage your students. So we're going to do this mock presentation. Afterwards, you're welcome to come and look at any of the equipment. I'll just give you a quick rundown. Right here we have a teleprompter, nice fancy teleprompter, so that when Dr. William Shuford's asking questions, she doesn't need it, she has them all memorized. But when she's asking questions, she can look here and see what the question is. We've done a couple of times. We've had one of the presidents in here, and he's read from this teleprompter and done some addresses from it. We have, let's see here, what else that you guys will want to see. I have a multiple camera setup. This is actually not the one I usually use, but we're taking pictures with that one. So I've got a little bit of a setup here for that, just to give you an idea. We have professional grade sound equipment, and I can do audio recordings outside of video. And I just did that last week. So if you want to do an audio podcast, we can work that out as well. So all kinds of things. Like I said, if you want to talk to me afterwards about the different equipment that's going on, you can look at this screen and watch in real time as it's being recorded. And then I'll be over here working at this station, just kind of showing. You won't be able really to see me. Don't pay attention to me, but you'll just kind of know that that's what I'm over here doing. Is I have my headphones on, and we'll just do it like it's a real recording that we're doing. We'll go ahead and run the cameras and everything. So just with that said, these cameras are going. And Dr. William Shuford, you can have it.
Can I say a few things before we start?
Yes, and you want me to leave the light on until you're ready.
Do y'all want the lights down here so you can see that better, the filming? Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and turn them down now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to my song.
Okay, thank you. So, hi everybody, good afternoon. I love so many, everything about my job here at McSwain, especially like current role where I get to do a lot of things for faculty and with faculty. But one of the things I love the most is that I get to create things, right? I get to think of ways that we can better engage faculty. About 7 or 8 of you, as I look around, have joined me in an interview. When I was QEP director, I thought about ways that I could, as a part of the implementation, get faculty involved. And one of the ways that I wanted to do that was to use this production studio. Because when I was QEP director, there was this massive budget for outfitting the studio. I mean, there's a lot of money in this studio. You can tell it's not your rinky-dink. It's a very nice production studio. And so I thought, we have this really nice production studio. Why don't we utilize it to bring faculty in so that we can learn more about what they do and they can learn from each other? So about 3 years ago, I came up with the idea of QEP Q&A. Some of you may remember that. We'd film that monthly with a different faculty member and then send that out to everyone. And then it was QEP 3T, Teachers Talking Technology, where I think it was 2 faculty members I was interviewing at once, where they would come in and they would talk about different types of technical instructional technology they were using. And then most recently, I now have co-host, where's Bev? Well, Bev Holmes is my co-host for Adjuncts Insights, a podcast. And we are gearing that specifically toward our adjuncts. Arlen and anybody else in here who's an adjunct, you know that you get that from me. And you get to hear from adjuncts, your peers, who have different backgrounds, maybe in the industry or whatever, and they share about that, but they also share about their teaching. And it kind of aligns with our Adjunct Insights newsletter that we send out to adjuncts. So today, I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. That's what I want to do, right? So this gives me an opportunity to do some of that. I always do one take. I tell my guests, don't get nervous that I do one take. If we mess up, we can start over. But I have an unbroken record. I've never done a take other than first take. And while the teleprompter is there, for it to look natural and be organic, I like to have in my head what I want to ask. But also, when you're conducting an interview, one thing I do know is that you don't have to stick to the questions, so that it's not robotic, right? If something comes up that a guest says that I want to expound upon or have them ask me a question, we just do it naturally. And I always tell them, don't look at the camera. One of the cameras is the teleprompter, and when I'm talking, I'll look at it, but I'm going to be looking at the guest. I want them to look at me. So what I want to do right now, I don't have a planned guest. I would like for any volunteer who'd like to come and be interviewed to come on up. Okay. Come on in.
They give me coffee.
Yes. Don't try drinking it.
Great, give me a moment to check the sound.
Okay.
All right, take a look at things, give us a couple tests.
Hi, I want to welcome you.
Okay, now Annie.
Hi, I'm Annie. Gorilla.
All right. And Patrice knows a 5-second count after you hear.
Hi, and welcome to our live version of an episode where we're going to show you the wizard behind the curtain, so that you can see how our episodes are filmed. I have here in the production studio with me today, Professor Annie Gorilla. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I am glad to have you here, Annie, and I just want to ask you some questions about your teaching, but also want to ask you some questions about some of the things you enjoy about being at Northwest Florida State College and in the area. Is that all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so my first question is, what do you teach?
I teach Intro to Humanities and recently started teaching music appreciation.
Okay, and of those courses, what do you enjoy the most?
Oh man, I love being able to have a class where the topics are always changing, and there's so much in the humanities and so much in music appreciation that there's always room to kind of change things out if I want to explore one area more than another. So having that flexibility of being able to learn myself along with my students is probably my favorite thing.
Absolutely, and I know for me as a faculty member, I love the same thing because I don't go in thinking that I know everything, because I don't. I like to learn from my students as we learn together. That makes it special. So what modalities do you teach in? Do you teach online? Do you teach strictly in person?
Yeah, actually when I started as an adjunct in 2019, I was totally online. And then when I became full-time, I started teaching in the classroom as well as online. I've done accelerated courses, I've done hybrid, traditional, online, online accelerated.
You've done everything.
Yes.
That's fair to say. Okay. Now, what do you like most about being a professor at Northwest State College?
Oh man, that's a big loaded question. What my favorite thing is the faculty forum.
Oh wow! Now you touched my heart. Yeah. What do you like about forums?
I like being able to see my colleagues because we're all kind of in our own little areas of the world doing our thing, and it's really neat to be able to come out and see what everyone's doing in their classrooms and be like, oh, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to go ahead and try that. Like the Google Scholar Lab thing, I'm going to tell my students about that.
I'm sure Dr. Soto will appreciate that. She did a great presentation. And I've always appreciated you being at the forums. You presented probably 3 times, I believe it is, 3 or 4, yeah. You always bring a wonderful presentation for our faculty, and I can tell you for that. Couple more questions. What do you like about the area?
The beaches. I like being at the beach. I love being able to just lay out and read a book or go stand in the water and watch my kids play. I just love being able to go to the beach and having it be so close.
Absolutely that. My last question for you is, what questions do you have of me? I always ask people questions when they come on for a filming of an episode, but do you have any questions of me as a faculty member?
I'd like to know what your favorite part of being a teacher is.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty easy. My favorite part of being a teacher is when I'm in the classroom and I am looking out at the students, and I think this is probably for everybody, and I know Dr. Shuford alluded to this yesterday, when I'm looking out at my students and I see that they really not only get it, but that they are enjoying the experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I get a high
better.
from that. No,
There's no better feeling.
it's so awesome. I think it's like a drug almost, that when we get that one time, we keep teaching so we can get that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I love it when they just kind of have a spontaneous discussion all of a sudden. I'm like, we can wait on the material. We can
That's
just
right.
keep exploring this right here. That's what I love. And I always thank them at the end. Like, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yeah, because it does something for you too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I observed a lot of your classes when you took them on field trips around the campus, and just being in your classroom and how you interact with the students is special. So thank you.
Thank you so
For
much.
what you do, and thank you for being here with us today. And before we end our episode, I would like to remind everyone that next week is going to be very, very special. We're going to have Meg Cabot join us here on campus. That is the author of The Princess Diaries, and Dr. Heather Hartness is the lead on NWFSC Reads. And if you can attend any of those sessions, please do that. We have an edible book contest. I think we have some etiquette classes or sessions that are going to take place. Just a lot of fun stuff next week. Thank you again for joining us. And as always, go Raiders. Y'all have any questions about the lights are very hot. If you think they're hot, they are extremely hot. And I can't hide.
And they're actually toned down right now. That, if you notice there's shadows, that's because I have a light that would have blinded you guys from where you're standing, so I shut it off. That's why you see shadows in the backdrop.
But do y'all have any questions about ways that you might, let me say that, teacher, right thing up. But Tim mentioned about you bringing your class and you teaching in here, but when he and I were in here the other day, we talked about a guest speaker. Wouldn't it be nice to have a guest speaker come in, bring your class in, and maybe film that if they give permission, so that that's something you could share with students who might not be able to attend it. So just different ideas how you can come in and use the production studio. Because like I said, the equipment is second to none, and I want you all to use it more. Scylla wants you to use it more. Shelby, anything you want to say about the studio and the use of it?
We were going to mention the light board. I don't know who would like to.
Oh yeah, or I can talk about it, and then you guys can add anything. I meant to say that earlier, I forgot, but we're not going to show you the room back here because right now it's storage. But in the very near future, actually really soon, right? We're going to have a light board, and we're going to convert that to a space that you can come and do recordings working on a light board. And for those that don't know, a light board is essentially like a clear piece of glass. Excuse me, I don't know what that was. We set up a camera on the other side and we do a mirror shot so that the camera sees the opposite of what is on the glass. So when you're writing on the glass, you see it exactly like an equation. If you're doing, for those of you in math profession, yeah, you write the equation and everything, and they see the equation written as though it's being written on the other side of the glass. And so it's a really cool tool that you can do, and you can use it for especially for those online classes. We hope maybe there's a way we can work out with hybrid classes too in the future. But phase one, I believe, is just for recording for your online classes. But that's going to be fun and really a really cool tool that we're going to have, and that room is going to be dedicated to it. So you'll just book it through us the same as you do anything else, and I'll help you get set up and help you get started, and then it's going to be cool. So anything else about that?
No, if you were at the last faculty forum, Jennifer Brown presented on it. It was that tool, and she and the SIL put in a faculty grant application, and so they were able. The foundation is funding half of that, so that was exciting.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And I do want to, I would like y'all's help. I do like to create things, but I have a lot of balls in the air, and we're going to continue Adjunct Insights, but I don't just want to do one series in an academic year. I'd like for y'all to send me ideas about anything else you'd like to see filmed in here that involves faculty, so that we can implement that. And I'm sure Tim would love to help with projects like that. So if you think of anything, if it's 2 people, if it's a panel of people, you know, you'd like to have at one time and do it monthly or whatever, just send me the idea, we can make that happen. Yeah, Tim can make that happen. I have 0 power here. I just work here.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have questions like on it. So I know this is mostly for faculty, but if we wanted to do like student projects, where they could, you know, as a presentation rather than doing it for the class, they create a little interview or they do their whiteboard, what do you call it, whiteboard. You know, is that something that we could arrange in my class that would do this project to make this an option?
As far as the whiteboard, I assume we can do that. Here's the way that I see it, and correct me if I'm wrong. We're here to support classrooms, whether that's to support the faculty or the students doing the work in the classrooms. That's what this media, this department is for. And so yes, yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy. I know I work with Radar Life, we do headshots, and that's another thing we do here. And I didn't talk about that, but that area over there where you see the little umbrella light, that's a headshot area. And so I set up there and I do professional headshots there. And we do that for some students as well. I have students that are coming in next week and they're going to be doing headshots. So, or in 2 weeks, but yeah, so that's, yeah, absolutely,
So
you can work something out.
podcast,
If it's, as long as it's something for their class, yeah, absolutely. I just had a student in here actually that said an audio recording. That was a student that did the audio recording. So. Yes.
Not related to students or anything, but for potential, like new hires.
Mhm.
So an interview like that, like, what do you like about this college? And so they know, like, we love our job, you know, like they get a sense of what's great about being here.
Right.
So for a new hire, might want to accept that offer.
Yeah.
So that might be something, you know.
Yeah.
You can consider.
Yeah. This is amazing as always. One day, always. So.
And Kelly, do you have the drawing bucket?
I do.
All right, we're on.